Every single day, millions of Americans pull into a car wash, pay somewhere between $5 and $40, and drive away in under 10 minutes. It feels like a small, forgettable transaction. But zoom out, and you're looking at a $14 billion industry with more than 62,000 locations across the United States. Some of those locations are barely scraping by. Others are quietly generating $1 million a year in revenue from a single piece of real estate the size of a gas station. So what actually separates a car wash that struggles from one that prints money? Today we're breaking down the real economics of owning a car wash, the startup costs, the revenue streams, the hidden expenses nobody talks about, and whether this business is actually worth your money in 2026. Let's start with the big picture. The U.S. car wash services market is valued at roughly $14.7 billion, spread across about 62,700 locations nationwide. But that average hides a massive range. A tiny self-service wash with 4 bays might make $40,000 a year. A large express tunnel wash on a busy corner can push past $1 million. The reason this industry has stayed resilient for decades comes down to one simple truth. People will always want a clean car, and most people would rather pay $10 than spend their Saturday morning doing it themselves. There are 4 main business models you can choose from, and each one has a completely different cost structure, labor requirement, and ceiling on profit. Let's go through them one by one. This is the lowest barrier to entry. You're renting out coin or card-operated bays where customers wash their own car using a pressure washer, foam brush, and vacuum that you provide. Startup cost, roughly $150,000 to $500,000 for a basic multi-bay setup. Revenue per wash, typically $5 to $15. Annual revenue, usually $40,000 to $100,000 per location. The upside here is minimal staffing. You basically need someone to restock supplies, empty the coin boxes, and handle occasional maintenance. The downside is that your income is completely capped by how many bays you have and how much foot traffic drives by. This is the single bay drive-in machine does everything model you often see attached to gas stations. The car pulls in, the equipment moves around the vehicle, and it's done in 3 to 5 minutes. Startup cost, $250,000 to $700,000 per bay. Annual revenue, commonly $139,000 up to $500,000. This model can hit profit margins as high as 69% because labor needs are so low, often just one attendant or fully unattended. This is the model that's exploded in popularity over the last decade, the one with the drive-through tunnel, high-speed conveyor, and unlimited monthly membership plans. Startup cost, $5 million to $8.5 million for a prime location, though smaller tunnel builds can start lower. This format generates the highest volume. We're talking 200 to 250 cars a day at a typical location, and it's built almost entirely around recurring membership revenue, which we'll get into shortly. This is the premium tier, exterior wash plus full interior detailing, hand drying, and add-ons like waxing. Startup cost, $1.5 million to $3 million, sometimes reaching $7 million depending on land costs. Average ticket price $15 and up, often $25 to $75 when you bundle in detailing. Average annual revenue for a full-service operation can reach $1.8 million with average annual profits between $500,000 and $900,000. The trade-off? Labor. Full-service washes need a much larger crew, which brings us to costs. Revenue in this business comes from 3 main buckets. Bucket 1, pay per wash. This is the walk-up customer paying for a single wash. Depending on format, that's anywhere from $5 for a basic wash to $75 for full detailing. Bucket 2, memberships, the real engine of this business. This is the part most people underestimate. A membership program, usually priced between $20 and $40 a month for unlimited washes, is what turns a weather-dependent seasonal business into something with predictable recurring cash flow. Here's a simple example. If a location signs up just 300 members paying $35 a month, that's over $10,500 in guaranteed monthly revenue, regardless of whether it rains for 2 weeks straight. At scale, successful tunnel operations report that memberships make up 25% or more of their total sales mix. Bucket 3. Upsells and add-ons: tire shine, wax coatings, interior vacuuming, air fresheners, ceramic coating packages. These add-ons typically carry profit margins between 50 and 85% and can contribute 20 to 40% of total revenue at a well-run location. Put those three together, and a moderately busy automatic or express location serving 200 to 250 cars a day at an average ticket of $12 to $18 can generate $70,000 to $120,000 a month in total revenue. Now let's talk about where that revenue goes, because this is where a lot of first-time owners get caught off guard. Labor is usually the single biggest recurring expense for anything beyond a self-service model. Commonly $25,000 to $30,000 a month for a small crew, and significantly more for a full-service operation with detailers. Facility costs, rent or lease payments, can run $15 to $35 per square foot annually in a prime, high-traffic location. Chemicals and supplies typically run around 15 to 30% of revenue, depending on how aggressive your upsell mix is. Utilities and water are real line item too. In-bay systems alone can use 10 to 50 gallons of water per car, and many cities now require water recycling systems and oil water separators, which raise your upfront build cost but lower your long-term water bill. Maintenance and equipment repair, because the moment a tunnel or in-bay system goes down, you're not just losing repair money, you're losing every single sale that would have happened while it's broken. Insurance, permits, and licensing. Car washes carry liability risk, vehicle damage claims are common, plus annual permit renewals depending on your state and municipality. When you add fixed costs and variable costs together, a solid rule of thumb many operators use is that total monthly operating expenses land somewhere around $55,000 for a mid-size operation, plus variable costs tied directly to volume. After all expenses, a well-run car wash typically nets a 20 to 40% profit margin. On the higher end, in-bay automatics with low labor needs have reported margins approaching 70%. Break-even timelines depend heavily on your format. Self-service, 18 to 24 months, needing roughly 1 to 2,000 washes a month. In-bay automatic, 24 to 30 months, needing around 2,500 to 4,000 washes a month. Express tunnel and full service, typically 2 to 4 years, but they generate the highest absolute dollar profit once they hit stride. If you're buying an existing car wash rather than building one, valuations are usually based on a multiple of 3 to 6 times EBITDA, and buying gets you immediate cash flow instead of waiting years to ramp up. This business is not risk-free. A few things to know before you write a check. Weather dependency. Rain, snow, and freezing temperatures directly kill walk-up traffic. This is exactly why memberships matter so much. They smooth out the bad weeks. Location risk. Industry data suggests you want a site seeing 15 to 30,000 vehicles pass by daily, with traffic moving at a moderate 25 to 45 miles per hour. Too fast, and drivers don't notice you. Too slow, and you're in a low-traffic area to begin with. Regulatory and environmental compliance. Water usage restrictions, wastewater discharge rules, and backflow prevention requirements vary by city and can add real ongoing cost. Competition and saturation. In popular suburban corridors, it's now common to see 2 or 3 express tunnel washes competing within a mile of each other, which pressures both pricing and membership retention. Equipment breakdown. Automated systems are mechanically complex. When they fail, so does your entire revenue stream until it's fixed. The real wealth in this industry isn't built on one location. It's built by operators who scale to 5, 10, or 50 locations under one brand, standardizing membership software, bulk purchasing chemicals, and negotiating better lease and financing terms as they grow. This is also why private equity has aggressively moved into the car wash space over the past several years. It's a cash flow heavy, recurring revenue business model that scales well once the operational playbook is proven. So, is owning a car wash actually worth it? If you're expecting a passive hands-off investment, this isn't it, especially with a full-service or tunnel model. But if you can secure the right location, build a strong membership base early, and keep your labor and maintenance costs disciplined, a car wash can become one of the most resilient, recession-resistant cash flow businesses you can own. People stop buying a lot of things when money gets tight. They very rarely stop washing their car. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for the next one in this series, because tomorrow we're taking apart the economics of an entirely different business.